Kathy asked that. I thought, well, damn, if I need some proof, I'm sending it to Kathy. But I got it.
I thought you maybe meant to do.
I should not, I'm just trying to enjoy the conversation.
So you got the letter, right? I sent you the letter, that went out to the congregation about the uniting the congregations.
You did.
I sent it to you.
Did you mail it in the mail?
No, I emailed it to you.
Right. Thank you guys, good job.
Okay.
I can probably.
All right, send it to.
Don't watch me.
Yeah, I do remember.
I'll do that later.
You got it.
Okay.
Bruce
Candy. We'd like to know about the letter too. We don't get mail. We get calls, Barbara calls about things, but we don't get any mail.
Well, have you joined the synagogue yet?
No, but I think we're here and if it's gonna combine, we kind of like to know.
Okay, well,
It's not different, positive.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was, you know, powerful,
yeah.
That's what the letter says.
but, yeah,
So we're very
But,
transparent.
So your email. For you.
yeah. We used to get stuff and then it, you know, got really.
Yeah, we just had to just send all that to, you know, the member of the company.
Mhm. Well, I mean, it's been a long time since we used to get things all the time. And then, you know, we didn't come for a while and I guess they kind
Yeah.
of purged stuff.
Down here, no, hey.
No, we drive up from Greenville. We drive from Greenville. Yeah,
Wow.
Saturday too.
but we're very committed. We've been coming for
So you
the
drive back to regular time.
Oh, yeah, come back in the morning. too.
Wow.
Yeah,
You guys are good.
Oh,
Oh, Shabbat Shalom and happy Halloween.
Happy World Series.
Oh, did it finish?
No, but, you know. He's from LA, so the Dodgers are his team, so.
What game is it? The last one?
Probably the fifth game. Well, I've seen every one, but I paid no attention.
And the Dodgers are winning or the Dodgers are losing?
Well. Or whatever. Yeah, those people are, one game ahead.
Hmm.
The Cubs aren't, but-
Sorry.
Couple games.
All right, has everyone forwarded all the emails? If so, then we'll like. Oh,
Said it.
And we're gonna let candles down.
And so she's. Thank you.
so let's begin with Shalom Aleichem. I'm really welcome back, or well, welcome me back and welcome you back. And so glad that everybody's here. Shalom Alechem on page 5. Shalom Alechem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon. Mi Melech Malachi Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Continue with Yedid Nefesh on page 10. Yedid Nefesh Aman Mishoch Avdach Eretzonach Yarutz Avdach Kemo Hayal Yishtachaveh Mohadarach Ki erav lo yedidutach mino vetzuf vechol tam Hadornae ziv haolam Shicholat avtecha Anahel narefanala beharot lanoam zivach az titchazek vetitrape v'hayitahalach shivchat olam. Let's continue with the last paragraph. Higa alehena ufros chavivi alai etzukat shelomach Ta'ir eretz mikvodach Nagila v'nismecha bach Maher Uv Kiva Moed V'choneni Ki Yamei Olam. We continue with reading Psalms 95 through 99. Can I get a page? We're going to start on page 11. Can I get a volunteer to read Psalm 95? Joy. And 96. Emily. 97. Barbara. 98. Tina. And Psalm 99. It's on 99. It's on page 20. Okay, Marcia. Great. Okay. So we'll start out with Joy. Page 11.
Filled with thanks, let us greet God, raising our voice in song.
Praise Adonai. Deities.
God's hands formed the earth's feet, and I'm impressed to work.
The sea is God's, for God made it. The land was fashioned by God's hand.
Bow, kneel, let us bend our knees in the presence of Adonai who formed us.
Adonai is our God, and we are God's flock. Sheep in God's caring hands. Yep.
Yes. Then to God's voice, not hearted like the people at Meribah, like that time at Massa in the desert, when your ancestors tried me and tested me, though they had seen what I had wrought.
For 40 years, troubled by generations, and then I said, these are people whose hearts have gone astray. They do not know my way, or they would not rest. We continue on page 13.
Warriors here than other gods, the gods of the nations are man-made idols. God is not fashioned the very fact.
Grandeur and glory of God's coming. Strength and joy of God's death. Offer to Adonai. Offer to Adonai honor and strength. Offer to Adonai honor to God's name. Bring a gift of thanksgiving.
And I in the glory of this holy place, before God's presence, all who dwell on earth. Once among the nations, Adonai reigns. The land is firm and moved. Peoples will be fully judged. Thank you. We continue on page 15. Yeah. Clouds and thick darkness surround the divine, righteousness and justice.
Patches of lightning warm in the land, the earth washes and trembles, mountains melt like wax at the approach of Adonai, at the approach of the master of all the earth.
The heavens tell of God's righteousness, and all the nations see God's glory.
All that is being supreme, bow before God.
Zion hears of it and rejoices. The cities of Judah exult as you, Adonai, pass judgment.
Exalted over all that is worth of as we love.
Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the lives of the faithful, saving them from the hands of the sinful.
Rejoice in Adonai, you righteous people, and thank God as you pronounce the divine holy name.
Continue on page 17.
Song. Sing to Adonai a new song, for Adonai has wrought wonders. God's right hand and holy arm have brought deliverance.
Adonai declared deliverance. As nations looked on, God's righteousness was revealed.
God tell faithful Israel, the very ends of the earth saw our God's saving power.
Call out to Adonai, all the earth. Break out in joyful singing. Sing to Adonai the music of the lyre and the voices making music together. Horns and shofar cries. Trumpet the presence of the sovereign, Adonai.
Speed and all thunder. Let rivers clap hands while mountains sing in harmony. Greeting Adonai who comes to judge the earth, judging the world with justice and the nation with truth.
Thanks. We continue with Psalm 99 on page 19. Page 19. Adonai is the great Zion above all nations. They shall acknowledge your name, saying, Great Exalt Adonai our God. Bow down. One. Barach le'olam olamei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach barach le'olam olamei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit roman v'yit naseh. V'yit hadar v'yit taleh v'yit halal shemei dekudishah. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. And we continue with the Baruch Hu on page 39a. Please rise, page 39a. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vahed. Please be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. Uma'avir yom u'me'evi laila, uma'avdil ben yom u'vein laila, Adonai tzavaot shemo, el chad v'kayam tamidim loch aleinu le'olam vahed, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. Let's continue on page 40. Avad olam beit Yisrael, amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, b'shochveinu u'v'kumeinu, nasiach bechukecha, v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nehege yomam v'layla. Avat char artusim le'olamim, baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Page 41. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha, u'v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol me'odecha, ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantan levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha v'veitecha, uv'leftecha v'aderech, u'shokbecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beinenecha, u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha. Continue on page 42, reading individually. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael v'amarta alehem v'yasu lahem tzitzit al kanfei bigdehem ledorotam v'natnu al tzitzit hakanfa b'tel v'techelet v'haya lachem letzitzit ureitem oto uzachartem et kol mitzvot Adonai va'esitem otam V'lo taturu acharei levavchem acharei einechem asher atem zonim achareihem leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lehiot lachem le'elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet. Emet ve'emunah kol zot v'kayam aleinu ki hu Adonai Eloheinu va'en zulatenu enachnu Yisrael amo. Continue on page 44. Umachuta b'ratzu kiblu aleihem, Moshe u'Miriam u'bnei Yisrael achanu shira b'simcha rabba, v'amru chulam, mi chamocha be'elim. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Continue on page 46. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein v'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Yikadav yitkadash shemei rabbah, Be'amad yivrachute v'yamlich machute b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'vchayedecho beit Yisrael bagala u'vizman kariv imru Yeshmei Rabba Mivarach Le'olam Lu'amei Amaya Yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Kedusha Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damidran be'alma v'imru. Amen, amen. And we continue with the Amida on page 47. We rise and we say the prayers in our heart or the prayers on the page. Please be seated when you are finished. Continue with the symbolic repetition of the Amida on page 53. Vayachulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tevam vayachal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa Vayivarech Elohim et yom hashevi'i vayikadesh oto Ki v'shavat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imatenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibur v'Hanara El Elyon Konei Shamayim va'aretz Magen Avod bidvaro Mechaye Metim b'mamaro Ha'el HaKadosh Shem Kamohu Hameniach le'amo B'yam Shabbat HaKodsho כי רצה להניח להם, כי רצה להניח להם, לפניו נבוא ביראה ופחד, ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד מעון הברכות. אל ההודעות, אדון השלום, מקדש השבת ומברך שביעי, ומניח בקדושה למקדוש נעונג. זכר למעשה בראשית. Page 54. Eloheinu ואהבתנו ואימותינו, רצי בנוחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך, ותן חלקנו בתורתך, וסבנו מטובה, ושמחנו בישועתך, ותעבר ליבנו לעבודה באמת, והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה ורצון שבת קודשך, וינוחו וישראל מקדשי שמך. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. יקדש ויקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברי חירותי ממליך מלכותי, בחייכון ובימיכון ובחי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעולמי יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומן ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי דקודשה. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תשבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו. תתקבץ לון הון ובאות הון, דכל ישראל קדם אבו הון די ושמיה ואמרו. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו. Amen. Amen. So now we kind of come to a fun part of the service, to the Divrei Torah. So it's Halloween tonight, and I am one of the Jewish people that celebrates Halloween. There's two groups of us, the ones that do and the ones that don't. I like it. I don't take it too seriously, yeah, okay. So I thought for fun, we would read a special witch story that comes out of the book of Samuel, the first Samuel chapter 28. So the book of Samuel, what is this? Forgive me if you already know this. I'm just going to do a little review. There's two books of Samuel, part 1 and part 2. Originally, it was one scroll, but it was too big, so they split it up to 2 parts. That's fine. There was book of Samuel. Samuel was a prophet. It's about the ascendancy of King David, but it's sort of like one of my professors says, it's sort of like if Harry Potter was called the Book of Dumbledore. Harry Potter. So Samuel is the prophet. I'll start from the beginning, not the beginning, but we have Exodus of Egypt, right? And then Moses, and then Joshua comes, conquers Canaan, and now that becomes Israel. So then we have Israel, and Israel is a bunch of different judges. They're more like tribal chiefs. And that works for a while, but then until it doesn't, and it's real chaotic. So the people come together and say, we want a king. So Samuel is chosen by God, and Samuel anoints a king. The first one he does is Saul. So we're going to read about Samuel and Saul. So who is Saul as the first king? He's a very tragic character. Everybody in the Bible has good parts and bad parts. Saul is this really tall, good-looking, CEO type guy. He is dishonest and no integrity and very arrogant, and he cannot learn from any mistakes, and he just cannot hear it. So he's really a tragic character, and in the end, it doesn't end up well for him. In the beginning of the book of Samuel, the themes, we talk about these themes. You want Israel succeeds when you have this leader who's humble and faithful to God. David, the Psalms of David, always call out, who's also King David, who's also a very flawed character and very, very has a lot of peccadillos, but he's at least self-aware about it, and he can course correct, and he's not very arrogant about it. And David is a man of faith. So, and that's kind of the theme is like what we need in leadership. And those are the themes in the book of Saul. Okay. So, all right. So, Samuel sees, so book of Samuel, Saul gets anointed. We see Saul kind of faltering, and then Samuel sees this and he says, okay, you're not gonna be king anymore, and this guy David's gonna be in place. And Saul's like, what? And then we have the incident of David and Goliath, where David's like this small, humble person with faithful God, boom, kills Goliath. And Samuel sees this, tells Saul. Saul, as any king is wont to do, says, oh, David's going to be king. And then he tries to kill David. David runs away. He's hiding in the wilderness. He composes some of the Psalms that we read. So, he's running away. So at this point where we're going to read, it's in a story. David's in the wilderness. Saul is king. Saul is we're going to read chapter 28. Chapter 20, Saul is beginning to lose touch with reality. He's gone really crazy, become a mad king, like your original Game of Thrones mad king. This is Saul. And at this time, Israel is in a war with the Philistine. Goliath was a Philistine. The story we're about to read is shortly before Saul's final battle. At the end of this story, Saul goes off to fight the battle and he loses and ends up falling on his own sword. Okay. So, but it's really a nice book. It's we're going to read, it's Samuel 28. It's called The Good Witch of Endor, named by me. We're going to pass out, I thought these scrolls would be kind of fun. I'm going to put a big, I like this. I don't know, I got into Halloween. So, but it's time to use the little scrolls. So, keep the thing under it, this scroll. Does anyone want to? Does someone want to read? Like, come up here and read it? Okay, yeah. I will. I'll do it. I'll read. Good. Okay. 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 All right. Huh? Oh, here we go. I got it. Okay. Okay. So in verse 1, at that time, the Philistines, before we start, what is the Bible's attitude towards witches? Bad, we kill witches. We don't like witches. Okay. But here's a story about a good witch. Huh? So at that time, the Philistines mustered their forces for war to take the field against Israel. Achish said to David, you know, of course, that you and your men must march out with my forces. David answered Achish, you surely know what your servant will do. In that case, Achish replied to David, I will appoint you my bodyguard for life. Okay, so that's two lines. That's telling you what's going on for David. David is going to join the war of Israel against the Philistines. It turns out David doesn't join the war of Israel against the Philistines because some of Achish's soldiers don't really know about David. They don't like him. So David holds back. Not pertinent to the story about to read. I just thought I'd fill you in. So now number 3. Now Samuel had died, that's the prophet, and all of Israel made lament for him. He was buried in his own town of Ramah. As Saul had forbidden recourse to ghosts and familiar spirits in the land. The Philistines mustered and marched toward Shunem and encamped. And Saul gathered all of Israel, and they camped at Gilboa. Mount Gilboa, it's up in the north. When Saul saw the Philistine force, his heart trembled with fear. And Saul inquired of God, but God did not answer him, either by dreams or Urim or by prophets. So God is no longer with Saul. What happens when God is no longer with Israel? We lose. This is the biblical. We lose. Then Saul said to his courtiers, "Find me a woman who consults ghosts, so I can go to her and inquire through her." And his courtiers told him that there was a woman in Endor who consulted ghosts. Saul disguised himself, he put on different clothes and set out with 2 men. They came to the woman by night and said, "Please divine for me a ghost. Bring up for me the one I shall name for you." But the woman answered him, "You know what Saul has done, how he has banned the use of ghosts and familiar spirits in the land. So why are you laying a trap for me to get me killed?" And Saul swore to her by God, "As God lives, you won't get into trouble over this." At that, the woman asked, "Whom shall I bring up for you?" He answered, "Bring up Samuel for me." So we see he's breaking his old rules. Okay. Then the woman recognized Samuel, and she shrieked loudly, and she said to Saul, "Why have you deceived me? You are Saul," meaning King Saul. The king answered her, "Don't be afraid. What do you see?" And the woman said to Saul, "I see a divine being coming up from the earth." "What does he look like?" he asked her. "It is an old man coming up," she said, "and he is wrapped in a robe." Then Saul knew it was Samuel, and he bowed low in homage with his face to the ground. Samuel said to Saul, "Why have you disturbed me and brought me up?" Which I think is hilarious. I think it's just a hilarious thing for a dead person to say to a living person. "Why have you disturbed me and brought me up?" And Saul answered, "I am greatly troubled. The Philistines are attacking me, and God has turned away from me and no longer answers me, either by prophets or in dreams. So I have called you to tell me what am I to do." And Samuel said, "Why do you ask me, seeing that God has turned away from you and become your adversary? God has done what was foretold through me. God has torn the kingship out of your hands and given it to your fellow, to David, because you did not obey God and you did not execute God's wrath among the Amalekites. That is why God has done this to you today. Further, God will deliver the Israelites who are with you into the hands of the Philistines. Tomorrow, you and your sons will be with me, and God will also deliver the Israelite forces into the hands of the Philistines." No, bearer of bad news. At once Saul flung himself prone on the ground, terrified by Samuel's words. Besides, there was no strength in him, for he had not eaten anything all day and all night. The woman went up to Saul, seeing how greatly disturbed he was, and said to him, "Your handmaid listened to you. I took my life in my hands and heeded the request you made of me. So now you listen to me. Let me set before you a bit of food. Eat, and then you will have the strength to go on your way." He refused, saying, "I will not eat." When his couriers as well as the woman urged him, he listened to them. He got up from the ground and sat on the bed. The woman had a stall-fed calf in her house. She hastily slaughtered it and took flour and kneaded it and baked some unleavened cakes. She set this before Saul and his courtiers, and they ate. Then they rose and left the same night. What? Yeah. Yeah, and then in the next few chapters, they die. They all die. They die. His son, Saul's son Ishbosheth which means man of shame, becomes king for like 2 years. And then after that, we have King David. Son-in-law, son-in-law. Had any of you ever heard that story? Okay, it's just a nice witch story to have on Halloween. No, but this is an AI image. I asked AI to give me a picture of a good witch feeding a king, and it came up with that. So I was quite impressed. Happy Halloween. Not all witches are bad. We're good. Let's go ahead and do the prayers for Mishe Be'eroth. Well, before we continue, did anyone have any thoughts about any of this? Okay, we can talk about it at Kiddush. Okay, it's a little story. Mishe Be'eroth, we're going to pray for the healing of Marjorie Allen, Leon Capuano, Suzanne Urbella, Joy Richards, Michelle Zucker, Marcia Hudson, Gracie Hanchow, Madison Durr, Jack London, Sue Gross, Jerry Carnell, Adrian Nelson, Bill Cannery, Laura Christopher, Jennifer Riley, Leslie Zucker, Lucy Hayes, Davis Duro, and Judy Martinez. Mishe Be'erach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishe Be'erach Imotenu Mikor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Please rise for the Elenu on page 56. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoe haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, ve'anachnu kor. Mishtafavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notei shamayim veyosed haaretz umoshe vikaro bashamayim mimal ushkinatu zo begovhei meromim Hu Eloheinu Einod, Emet Malkeinu Efesu Lato, Karkatu Betorat, Tayom Behasheva Behashi Elevecha Hu Ha Elohim. Hashamayim mimal, ve'aharetz mitachat, einod. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Continue on page 58 with the mourner's Kaddish. Mourners remain standing. Everyone else can be seated. This week, we lovingly remember Herbert M. Besser, Bernard Mayer, Johnny Toronto, David Empel, Ann Feldman, Dan Galinsky, Jennifer Beth Rosenthal, Joseph Schaefer, Ruben Morris Hennon, Sylvia Mazer, Alvin Behrman, Rachel Franco, Anthony Moscow, Mildred Zellermeyer, Saul Ginsberg, Francis Goodman, Pauline Goodman, Frida Kassover, Harry Kishner, Lena C. Schulwolf, and Bernice Herman. Did I name everyone? Does anyone have any names they want to add? Okay. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 58. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah v'yalma divrach chirute v'yamlich machute b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mivarach Le'olam Olamei Omaya. Yit Barach V'yishtabach V'yit Pa'ar V'yit Roman V'yit Naseh. V'yit Adar V'yit Taleh V'yit Talal Shemei Kodusha. Le'elam Min Kol Birchata V'shirata. Tush Birchata V'nechemata. Da'amiran Be'alma V'imru. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. Osei Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. May the one who grants peace on high bring peace to us and to all of Israel. And we say, Amen. Announcements? Thank you.
Or this will learn to. So let's take advantage, the rabbi will be here for the next 2 weeks, and, let's take advantage of her. Tomorrow morning services, Monday and Thursday, Minion. And then next Friday night, we'll be here again, and then Saturday morning, and, you know, you want, tell us about a cantorial something, or the joint venture between the synagogue and the temple and federation, and it's group of cantors that come out of Chicago. I can see it in my head. Chicago, and it's going to be a beautiful concert. They were coming through this way, and they're going to the civil rights thing, and they want to do that with the concert. So they kind of do that, and there'll be some of our local singers too. I think David. I think he's going to sing as well. So it should be really nice. So that's Monday night, November. Yeah. At the temple. Now it's still. I think it's and a little reception. Let's I think it's gonna be beautiful. It is. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be real beautiful. Anything else?
Yes. So we have so next Tuesday, it's not an official temple thing, it's a synagogue thing, but I'm going to be volunteering just on my own at the food bank from 8:30 to 10:30 if anyone wants to join me, because the food banks now are a little bit busier because of because of national politics. Love to have a company. Wednesday, we have a grief support group at 11 a.m. It's through the L'chaim League, but it's going to be here. I'm leading it. It's the first one. If you want to come in, it's the first kickoff, so not a formal thing yet, but just talk about what we need. If you know of a mourner or someone who needs a grief support group, or if you want to come, please feel free. Thursday. I'm not sure if you, we haven't really decided yet. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, I think sometime to be determined. That's a good question. I think probably, but I'm not sure. Thursday, we have a high holiday feedback forum after Minion. So if you have anything you want to say, come, say, do it. Or if you want to pass, if you want me to know, but you don't want to know that you said it, pass it to a board member and have them pass it to me, which is fine. I just love to hear from you, what works, what doesn't work. Make it better for you guys. And and then not this Saturday, but next Saturday is Tot Shabbat. We got 3 families coming, so there'll be a lot of kids. We got some more kids coming. So if you have youngins 0 to 5, please come, or please come anyway. But so that's going to be a thing. That's. Oh, and did anyone here give? Oh, Kathy, do you want to talk about what happened with the air traffic controllers? Just put you on the spot. And so that had our name on it, which was really nice. That was just kind of a quickie thing. So. It was a lovely idea, and a friend organized it, and they got a gift card, they got Agudath Israel Etz Ahayem, and they got some other of our names on it. It was very nice. Huh? Yeah, you and Fern, you actually went over and gave out. Yeah, you went and actually gave the gift cards. Yes. Excellent. So let's end with on page 62 with Yigdal. Or what, let's go with Adon Olam on page 211. 211. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'Terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Le'ed Nasa B'Chef Sakol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam Ve'acharei Kiklot Hagol Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh Behu ihe batifara Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'Terem Kol Yetzir Nivra, Li'ed Nasa, B'Ches HaKol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Behu Echad Ve'en Sheni, Laham Shilo Lahachbira Adon Olam, Bali Reshit bali tachlit, velo ha'os v'ha'misra adon olam, asher malach b'terem kol, yitzir nivra li'ed nasa, b'chev sakol, azay melech shemo nikra adon olam, v'hu eli v'chai goali, v'tzorchev li b'yitzara adon olam, hu nisi umanos li, manakosi b'yom ekra adon olam, asher malach, b'terem kol, yitzir nivra li'ed nasa, b'chev sakol, azay melech shemo nikra adon olam, be'ado afkid ruchi, be'dishan ve'ira adon olam, ve'im ruchi geviati, Adonai li velo ira adon olam. Shabbat shalom.
Much better than I thought. Yeah? Yeah. It's good. It's enjoy it. Good. Great for me out.